in the air.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Joe Wordish podcast number seven, and I'm delighted to have a fucking good friend of mine, Mr. Al Porter. I'm delighted to have Al Porter. I've always wanted to get you on, and even Sarah has been saying you need to get Al on, and you know that we've always been the same company. And then I have me two good mates.
There you go.
From having us on. It's almost as good as a podcast as this. So the boys are here, and I just thought I'd bring you involved in this because
new setup and all.
Yous are brand new, and we have a new setup. So give it up for Al and the boys from you.
It's nice to meet you, lads. I've been watching your clips and stuff like that, and I've been watching you doing the podcast thing, and everybody has a podcast now. It's like you're on the 77 bus, and they're going, "Will you go on me nanny's podcast?" Like everybody.
But it's a different venue for fucking just getting out content.
No, it's
isn't
great
it?
because you don't actually need to go on TV or need to go on the radio or whatever, and then obviously some of them are massive. I was joking with Joe. I was like, if you got a phone call to go on Talking Bollocks, you'd be like, "Oh my God, Talking Bollocks!" But him ringing you to go on, it's just bollocks. Obviously,
that's true.
That's how my career is going. I love slagging him.
We have great banter.
He is one of my best friends in comedy because he's we're just
too easy to slag. I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. I'm thick-skinned. I'll take it. I'll take the banter and the slag, and we've gone well.
I hadn't seen him. Since he went to Turkey, and he was in the Laughter Lounge with me a couple of weeks ago. And it's just a comedian thing where you've got that push the red button syndrome of like, I think a lot of comics grew up with that of going, I always say the thing that I'm not meant to say, or you just can't help it, and then you have to find a way to make it funny, And I just seen him, and I was like, didn't intend on doing it. When I went up on stage, I'd say I dedicated 15 minutes to my act to roasting his new face. Like I'm going, he spent 16 grand to look like a JD Sports mannequin.
I mean, this is just JD. You couldn't make it up. Joe Dale with sports should be gone. No, but that was brilliant. I love it.
With the new teeth and the new hair in it. Because at the time the hair was newer than that. It's nicer now.
Someone said I look like a wet tennis ball.
It's starting to take now, isn't it? But at the time now, he looked like a fucking coked up ventriloquist dummy. It was tight as fuck. It was tight, and it was kind of like, hell yeah, it was.
I was only getting used to the teeth as well. I was like, fucking.
But he is great. But I always think that people. What I love about gigging with Joe, if he goes around the country with me, is that people can't believe that we're from the same area. Obviously in Dublin they get it, but when we're in Sligo or we're in Galway or we're in Roscommon, and you're going, no, we literally live around the corner from each other. They're going, how did that happen? Like I always say, that's an argument for nature versus nurture.
Which one's which?
Do you know?
You couldn't be any truer though.
No, Joe is who I would be if my ma hadn't sent me to dance and drama. Like
that'd be brilliant though. You should dress up as Joe one day.
We did it for the banter. Remember?
For the banter. We did it for the banter. Remember that time I asked you to take your clothes off? We did it for the banter.
He put on a hoodie and a cap on. He was trying to be all scrouty, but it doesn't work. It's still the best fucking. You know what I mean? It's all hand in the air.
I feel like you are. Oh well, actually, I was going to say you are inside me, but what I mean is, Joe has always been inside me, but there is a bit of you.
It's untrue, by the way. I'm fucking.
Do you know the way you hear?
It's so hard, man.
So are we, by the way.
Fuck off, just were kissing each other here last week.
But I have like social class dysphoria or something, because
what the fuck?
Do you know that you have?
Don't think away with your big words, you dickhead. I said that to you. We used to travel in the car. Don't use big words. You know that.
No, but what I mean is, do you know the way there's trans people and they have gender dysphoria,
right?
So they're in the wrong body.
Okay,
But like Joe is who I am on the inside.
Yes.
I'm from Tallinn. My parents are from Ballyfermot. But before that, my grandparents are from the Flats.
Yeah.
I'm extremely proud of being from a working class area, and I love it. And the gold I've gotten for stand-up material and just This is my people.
You're the scrotiest gay person I've ever met.
But then I'm walking around in a suit, or when I was younger, I'm on the Late Late Show being like, oh yes, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And on the inside, I'm like, what's the story? All right. I don't know.
So it took even, so it took me even, like, because I knew him through the comedy, and I was, at that time, when we were doing comedy, obviously you were fucking doing Bleeding Blind Date and all, like, you were smashed the shit over. And then, because you did dress prim and proper.
Yeah.
Prim and proper, sorry. He did.
I did.
Prim and proper.
Yeah.
He was prim and proper.
Did you think he did?
No,
Were you like,
sorry.
what happened?
No, so when it was only when we was kicking it together and then it was driving together in the car, and it's like, you're a fucking scrote, man. You're actually fucking.
I'm not, but I'm one of the lads. It's just that I always, I have friends who are girls or whatever who are gas, but I always was friends with straight mates and was out with the boys.
You definitely tell it all over. You're definitely fucking tell it. Apart from you come across like. You know what I mean? Well,
I don't know what I come across. But I mean, you driving me, like, that's a big difference when he drives me down to a gig. Because when you get Joe as a support act, you get a free lift, which is why he's a very popular support act. And when we're going down, we went to Galway once and we were at the...
Get your fucking hands off me. Don't fucking, I swear to God, I'll be on a podcast with these two fellas. I just... All right.
Oh, jeez, I don't think can you get cancelled twice? I'm just saying.
Go.
We got to the what's that called?
Story, the toll bridge.
And the woman looked right past Joe. Like, Joe was in his tracksuit and I was in my suit.
To pay the money.
And she looked way past him and just said to me, "Are you all right?" And she genuinely thought I'd been kidnapped. And I was going, "No, I'm grand," but I started kind of blinking real fast to see if we might get a chase in a Garda car or something. But people don't believe how rough he is. At one time I was
trying to get the teeth and all, I was trying to be less rough.
I said to him once, "Joe, you have a tag showing," and he checked his ankle. Like, that is on your top, Joe.
I didn't know what you were fucking. No, that's funny. No,
but he is and Blind Date was good, but I don't know if you were like, what age are you now?
27.
27. So you were only about 20 when I was doing Blind Date.
Was that?
And
7 years ago? What
7 years ago. Like, it's coming up on 8 years.
Yeah,
when everything fell apart, and obviously then big long time away and learning my lessons and getting sober and doing counselling and fucking a lot of counselling. It was a big long time away. I mean, it was 6 years
for someone who was doing
not
comedy
in prison, by the way. Just a long time.
I was doing comedy the same time as you, and in the same circle. So I know you were doing the big gigs, but then you were gone for a good while. COVID was
through the pandemic.
I couldn't drive anyone. I wasn't
I was getting no gigs. I was getting no fucking slaggins. I was thinking he was going to stand, but no, you were.
But Blind Date was a big show, like, but a lot of people tuned in to watch it. But we knew after the first episode that it was shy, but not shy, but that it was kind of cringe-worthy. And then by the second episode,
it's an Irish thing, isn't it?
Yeah, we started spinning it as, enjoy the cringe, like, enjoy the. And at the time, like, there was nobody really wanted to be on it because Irish people were kind of going, like,
everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, like, what if it's me cousin, you know? People going, I'd never write her again. Just people going, oh, Jesus, no, like, I'm a guard, I can't be doing that. So we ended up getting a load, do you remember this? We ended up getting a load of girls from Tallaght to go on it who weren't, they had to pretend they were from other areas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that it looked
like that on telly, like that. They went in like that on telly, they were like that.
So we had girls from Tallaght that we were like, just pretend you're from Belfast or pretend you're from Leitrim or whatever. So that it looked more.
Can you say that? Are you not going to get serious?
I don't know. Well, sure, look, it's grand.
What are you going to do? What are you
never going to be on telly again.
What are you going to do to your career?
I've nothing to lose and everything to give, as I say. But there's these girls, and then they would be on the show being like, my name's Nikita and I'm from Leitrim. And whenever the lads got paired off with them, like, you wouldn't want to fucking get paired off with one of these girls.
Because I remember watching it because you were on it. It was like this is fucking fair play. Yeah. What were the holiday? Was it?
No, some of the holidays were okay.
But what was it? Are you never seen this before?
Blind Date is Cilla Black used to do it in the 80s, and this was the reboot. And Blind Date was where there's a wall. It's really like low tech. retro game show. There's a wall.
So
You
that-
can't
on the
see the
far
other
side of it.
contestants.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I've seen
And-
like American versions of that.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And they
And it's
Yeah,
ask
kind
he's the
of
host.
cheesy.
Right,
yeah.
right,
yeah.
And then they bring down the wall. You've chosen them without seeing them.
Right.
It's
And then you go on holiday.
kind of well,
No,
you see,
it's RTE, isn't it?
See, well, it was
It's fucking
TV3,
Monty.
so it was
TV3.
kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
congratulations, you know,
Yeah.
John, you've matched with Sarah. You and her 10 kids are off to Trabolgan. Like, it wasn't really.
On Children's Allowance Day.
The odd time you'd send them to Birmingham or Manchester or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
We're going to the Rubber Hills the weekend. I feel like that.
yeah. So, but it was all right, wasn't it? It was okay.
It was funny. It was funny. I thought it was funny at times, but it was like it was cringy.
Yeah, but I mean, then my scandal was smack bang in the middle of it. I mean, you say scandal, or whatever you want to call that. People kind of calling me out for poor behaviour, and they were right.
Yeah.
And then everything falling apart. But that was right in the middle of it.
Of the series?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I never got paid for it. I didn't ask to be paid. I didn't think that would be fair.
Right.
And I just kind of made sure everybody
Backed
else
away.
was paid,
Right.
and I wasn't paid, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And I don't know where the episodes that didn't go out were, because one fella, like, not all of them went out, but they were recorded.
Yeah.
One fella met me last year and said, "Are you your man Al Porter, are you?" And I was going, "Yeah." He goes, "I was on your version of Blind Date because of all the shit that happened with you. My episode didn't go out."
Thought he was going to be famous.
And then he goes,
You ruined it for
no, he
him.
goes, "Thanks very much." He was mortified.
Scarlet.
I was like, "Oh no, I did it for you. I sent me a picture of me Mickey to the Herald. It was all for you.
Yeah.
I didn't want your episode to go out. God love you."
But I reckon it'd probably work now, that Blind Date, because I think the
I
older
would
generation,
love-
I reckon like your
Yeah.
generation
Yous would love a date.
No, your generation used to. Used to love any date at all, I'm sure. No.
yeah.
But I'd say their generation are more
I
into
agree.
it because of followers, and it's a different 7 years
Even-
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even now we
I
have
think-
like what's the
First
one on
Dates.
First Dates and Love
That's good.
Ireland and all
No,
that.
no.
But
First
they're great.
Dates is-
First dates is great. That's
Yeah.
kind of innocent. I think that like people would enjoy if they brought back Blind Date now with somebody like, I'd love like somebody like Lucy Kennedy hosting it,
Right.
or because she always wanted to host it,
Yeah,
and she
she-
would have
and
been
she's
great.
good, isn't
And I
she?
didn't
Yeah,
know
she's a
that at
great-
the time.
she's a
I've read
great
in
presenter.
newspapers that
Yeah,
she was going.
really.
Oh, I was disappointed when Al was asked, but sure, I never fucking knew she wanted to do it at all.
She wanted the job before you had it.
She
like.
wanted to
Everyone
do
wanted a
Blind
job.
Date,
Yeah,
but she
yeah.
should do a new Blind
Yeah.
Date and get on, as you say, 25-year-olds who have like
Right.
an Instagram
Big
following
time, I
and
think
have a
they'd be up
fucking
for that. Whether you
Yeah.
wanted a date or not, just for followers and just for a profile.
Yeah.
I think
For a
it's yeah, even or the
Alright.
the holiday to fucking Birmingham. you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
2
it.
weeks with the kids.
My God, it was called TV3 back then and all, but then they changed the name when I was gone. They were like, "What's the furthest thing from Al Porter?" And they changed to Virgin Media. Let's put a bit of distance there between us and Al Porter. It's a mad time.
That, it
wasn't
was. It's nuts. It's great to see you back though. From and I know a load of comedians, and there
Yeah.
was a lot of comedians that were like, "Oh, fucking," do you know what I mean? Jealousy is a big thing as well.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of comedians as well. Like we said, was like, "Fucking good on you. Good to have you back." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
like it's a
forgive
real
and forget
mix.
and redemption and all that.
Yeah.
And and I have to say, you're funnier now. And I'm gonna say, I said it before and I'll say it again. You're funnier now. You're a funny guy doing your stand up back then, but I've seen you loads of times, your new shows and all. And I think it's funnier now.
I think it's better to be
It's a
more
funnier- 'cause
relaxed.
You're sober.
Were you
as fuck.
writing during that whole
Sober.
time? Like,
No, no, it wasn't really writing all that. But I mean, you're living. I didn't have that much life experience. Like when I was I was on the late when I was 21. And when I dropped out of college and started doing stand up when I was 19. And in a way, your first show when you're 21 is like all your life. You've all your life they say it about singers, don't they, as well? You've all your life to do your first album.
Yeah, yeah.
And then your second album, you've got 1 or 2 years,
Yeah,
or 1
yeah,
year
be good,
to try
be
and do
good.
the next one. And so really, I was getting opportunities. In hindsight, I felt like I couldn't turn them down. Of
course, yeah.
So I got that thing like young and hungry and going, oh my God, the late or oh my God, the radio, or oh my God, without really having enough life experience to back it up.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're already kind of...
You had a lot to say. You were still
especially
you
with,
still
as
had
a
loads to
comedian,
say.
because a lot of comedians talk about life experiences,
Yeah.
and you're 21.
Yeah, but the life experience of kind of losing all that and being
That's-
humiliated nationally
no,
and
no,
being
but-
embarrassed and having
that's
to
more
go into
materials
recovery
without saying
and having to
it's
get
funny.
sober and do counselling and being unemployed suddenly and up and down. Like when I went back to gigging 2 years ago, it was this great freedom because you're actually kind of going, well, I mean, I really don't have anything to lose. I am kind of doing it because I want to do it. I'm not really expecting popularity. I just want to do it. So then the stand-up is a bit more real because now I'm doing material and you're talking about being a 32-year-old with a boyfriend. Are we going to get married? Are we going to have a baby? Living in a house share with 2 other fucking gays. We're always one argument away from a lip sync battle. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, living with 4 gays and a cat in the one house is a who drank my oat milk?
4 gay blokes and a pussy.
And we're all sitting in, and we live on George's Street.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in a flat on George's Street. And the window open, and you can hear the sounds of the George wafting in. And we're all like trying not to go to the George every night. And then you hear like, what am I supposed to do? And you're like, what? Kind of fancy putting the bins out to you. Sit around and wait for you. And my boyfriend is the real masculine one. He's like, lads, we can't go out again, and I'm just going,
and he's
yes,
the posh one. Is the other two, because I know.
No, the other boys aren't. Mike is posh.
The Mike's posh.
That's my fella. Yeah. We're together 8 years.
Lovely guy. Mike's sound.
Mike is
sound. He was only a year into the relationship when everything happened.
Oh my God! Listen,
imagine that.
When Mike met me, his ma hadn't even met somebody from Tally, and then Mike said that she said to him, Mike, Tala, just a bit worried. And he tried to put her at ease by saying, no, but ma, it's not like that. Like, he's on TV, he's on radio. It's not like he's unemployed. It's not like he's unemployed or up in court. Surprise, bitch! That was the next 5 years. It was like the big reveal.
When they take the mask off, Scooby-Doo.
It was like fucking Saltburn or something like that,
You landed on your feet, though, after with fucking such a come down from your career to land on your, because now you're in the company of
sometimes
a nice house and Grace.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? Imagine you were with some bleeding.
No, but he's a lovely fella. Mike is a lovely fella. And we've lived all over Ireland. We've lived in Donegal.
Yeah.
Drimney. I was at school in Donegal.
Sorry, are you Drimney?
Yeah, man.
Apologies.
Are you not with our week? No, because... So you're getting confused there.
He could be Willis.
Driver. I have been a few times. But I always said a few. Dreaming at Crumman, I wouldn't have a clue. I don't sound as soon as I leave Tala.
You could do an impression of it. You could do like a Willa tribute act. You could be like Willa Shy or something like that.
We were in Kilkenny years ago at the Kilkenny Cat Laughs. I was at a great night. We finished, we were pissed, and we were walking through the town of Kilkenny, and some fella was like, oh, there's your man, you're fucking seeing your stuff, you're bleeding great, and all. I was like,
who did he think you were?
He did, and I was lapping her up and all. He was like, then he said, it's your man, and as soon as he said Willa's joke, Paul Marshall was like,
I didn't think you were actually going to go there.
No, it happened. I was like, oh yeah, fucking nice one. You know what I mean? I'm doing a gig in Kilkenny, like.
Oh well, listen, you think, nice Joe, you're getting recognised as a comedian.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm not. I mean, I'm walking around and people like somewhat remember me from being on telly, but they don't know
that you were stand-up on the radio.
So they're going, hell yeah, I really miss you off telly bingo. And I go, that's not fucking me. And I said to this woman,
that's brilliant.
Oh no, that wouldn't be me. Like, brilliant. And she's like, no, I know, Shirley Temple Bar. And I go, no, I'm not that man altogether.
You're one of them guys.
Brendan Courtney was the attacked in town. Do you remember a few weeks ago, like a homophobic attack? Brendan Courtney from Tala, fashion designer. And Brendan was, and for 2 weeks, people were coming up to me going, are you all right? I heard you were attacked in town.
Is that many guys? Only a handful is.
Apparently so. Well, if you turn on the telly, you would think that there isn't a single straight person in Ireland. Every gay person in Ireland is on a FOSS scheme to get onto TV3 or Virgin Media.
So that's what you need to do, lads.
Yeah, come here.
Sorry, are you not already?
Where's that cushion?
I turned on Ireland AM the other one. I was just like, lads, this is the gayest lineup. It was Alan Hughes, yeah? And then I don't know who was on, but it might have been like, say, I think it might have been Brendan Courtney and maybe your man Shirley Temple Bar.
The first bit is the presenter,
blondie fella,
and the three of them are sitting there. Alan, Brendan Courtney, and I think Declan, who does who used to do Telly Bingo, but he was celebrating 20-year anniversary of Bingo in the George, right? And you turn on the TV, and literally this is what it was like. It was like, hiya, it's Alan Hughes here, and I'm sitting here with Brendan. Hiya, Brendan. Hiya, Alan. Hiya, Declan. Hiya, Brendan. Hiya, Declan. Hiya, Brendan. How are you? And I was going, oh lads, Enoch Burke has a point. You know what I mean? Like, is there anybody even
lads. He's not going to get a job back there, is he?
No.
Is he? No, I think you know now. You're not going to get back there.
Well, I just think there is something about stand-up that is really special.
Yeah,
like TV and radio are great fun and all that, but there's something about
you get the release of whatever, isn't it? Like a TV, you have to be kept in. I've not no experience with, but from what I can tell, you have to keep in your box. Podcast you can do with your own.
Yeah.
TV is boom. You have to, like as you were saying, you were told.
Well, I feel like you can.
You were told which way to sit at one stage.
Well, I remember going on the late and all that, and they'd be going, don't cross your legs like that. Look what I just
nuts.
No, it wasn't the late producers. Right. I'm just saying advice I was getting.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying they were. In fairness, they were always lovely on the late.
Yeah.
But I just mean advice you would get would be like, oh, you're doing an interview with the Irish Times, are you? Try not to kind of make it too gay. Make sure people know that it's a mix, or maybe
weird,
if you're going
like
don't cross your legs. I feel like even 10 years later, or whatever we are now, that it's different. I don't think that people would say that now. I think they wouldn't. They would go, or going, I'm going to wear a pink suit. And people would go,
they wouldn't say, no, there's no way.
They go, maybe wear the blue suit, don't wear the pink suit. Whereas now, I mean, they're like, maybe you're going to wear a dress, fair play.
Maybe
it
was someone close to you, someone close friend said, do you know what I mean? Like,
no, but that's what I mean. It was people you were getting advice.
Right, okay, so, but it wasn't full on fucking... Don't be kissing people and
well, I mean, the thing is when I look back, listen, when I look back and I think, oh my God, there I am. There was a real kind of innocence about me or something, or exuberance that was a bit naive, I look at me on the late Valentine's special, like crawling over Ryan's desk and going, oh, give us a kiss and all. And that was what I grew up around. Like, I can't deny that either, that was when I was 15, 16, 17, 18. There was a lot of older people going, oh, look at you, you fairy, and you have some hole on you, and go on, you dirty bastard, and giving you a slap.
There was a lot of that
was all normal. And then, for me, anyway, that was normal. And then, you look at the late and you're crawling around and you kind of go, oh, Jesus, actually, maybe people had a point, and actually I remember watching the late I have this mate, boundaries, exactly. It's about learning appropriate boundaries. But I have this mate, Sarah, and I talk about it on my show a lot, and she is just perfect for material. She's just not that bright yet. And she says stuff to me.
Not my Sarah, by the way. He looked at me as if to say, is he talking about, it's not the super sexy Sarah.
I've been talking about her for day one. She was in my Leaving Cert class.
Yeah, it's a good friend of ours.
Listen, this girl had two kids in school, and her name is Sarah Ward, and we all called her Maternity Ward, And this is a genuine girl. I got a memory foam pillow. She said to me, oh, that's brilliant. I can never remember my dreams. There's all this. But these are real things that she's
That's why no one wants to be in this company, because you're going to get ripped off.
And she's great, and I just love her. And even when I went to Paris with her in February of this year, I was in Paris and I was looking for things for us to do. And I said, we'll do this. You know these tours? I said, we'll do this one in the Louvre. It's an hour tour with an introduction to the Mona Lisa. Nice. And she goes, oh my God, I didn't know she was still alive. She'll sign my T-shirt.
I actually thought you were making her up, but she does exist.
Oh, she's real. You've met her at gigs. She's come to Vicar Street.
And said it. And I was like, that's good that you have that material. But it is there's no better material than real fucking material.
But she keep you grounded, and I enjoy that.
And without going even and cutting across it, what advice? Because I've been giving you a little bit of advice of what I could. What would you give these two boys? Starting off.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say to you. Because
they're not that long a comedy. What is
a
year?
Yeah, well, I didn't bring it up for no reason, because we were talking about the late and learning and stuff like that. And So I'll get to the advice now in a second, right? But I was watching the Late Late in 2020, so I was probably 3 years unemployed at this point or whatever. And believe me, at this point, you've been punished, and you get it. Like, so you're not sitting at home going, "I never did that wrong." You're like, "Yeah, I get it." And you're watching the Late Late, and this fella, he's a comedian, but it doesn't matter who it was, comes out and grabbed Ryan Tubridy by the crotch, right? And then the audience laughed, and then the next comedian, a different one, came out and grabbed him by the arse. And then the one who grabbed him by the arse said, "I've just sexually assaulted Ryan Tubridy," and the audience laughed. Right? And I was sitting at home going, "Oh fuck.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?" You know, and I always say to people that humans are a lot more complicated than we like to admit in the social media age. We're more contradictory. We're more on this hand, but also on the other hand. And so I had two things going on. One part of me was like, so nobody's going to call that out for poor behaviour. You know, that little...
Yeah, you're jealous about a bit of it because you were taken down from it. You were up there and you were fucking down.
But then I'm glad to say the kind of bigger person part, the like more bit of you that had learned was going... You know, I should warn the lads that you can't really do that. So I was like, I'm going to ring them, But I go, I was like, I'm going to ring them and just say, lads, take it from me. You don't know whether
if you rang me with a voice like that, I'd be like, okay. I'm like, if anyone's going to say, listen, I don't want to say what happened to me. I fucking know you are taken.
Yeah, but I'm going,
not taken down, but you end up losing everything.
No, but there were consequences, and I was going, you know, maybe I could just ring them and say, you don't know if Ryan is comfortable with that. You don't know. One person, as I learned, one person would brush something off, and I often brushed things off that people did to me. That another person would go, "Oh God, now I felt really uncomfortable. I didn't know where to look, and it made me embarrassed, and it made me feel sick, and I just didn't like it." That another person would go, "I thought that was fucking gas when that happened to me." So you have to be really careful. So I went, "Oh, maybe I'll ring them." But first I said, "I'm going to ring Sarah." So I rang Sarah just to see what she thought, right? And I go, "Are you watching the Late Late?" And she goes, "I know, they're stealing your material." You can't fucking...
brilliant.
And my ma's like, "What did she say?" I said, "She said they're stealing my material." And my dad was like, "That's a good one. That'll go in the show. That's a good one. Tell her I said it's a touchy subject, Like, my dad just thinks everything is a fucking gag. Like,
He's gas, though. He's gas.
Have you met his dad?
Oh, loads of times. His dad's gas. And his mother and father are lovely. And his dad
they're
really
good people.
Yeah, they're good people. And your dad's hilarious. He's a really funny guy. But that's not because I know my parents were funny too when I got that. So where do you from each other? Banter? Where do you think? Have this got someone?
My ma's from Ballymun, so she's a bit of a fucking
head case.
So she's really funny.
Yeah.
So a bit from her.
You'd have the banter. And what about yourself? Do you think there was a funny bone in the family somewhere that you felt like that you would have got? You? So you would have got...
Are you brothers?
No.
So sometimes that's all it takes is someone to be funny around you to bring that out in you, isn't it?
No, it wouldn't be that. He'll bleed that now, so take that back. Take that back.
Are you taking credit for him? So actually,
you did went like that look that you see in the camera. You went like that look.
I was doing it down like that.
Oh right, yeah. He's like, word.
No, word. Word to my brother. I don't know. I don't know if it's just one person. My whole family are really funny and all like that.
Well then, that's what I'm
we
saying.
would have been like we're mates fucking since we're in first year, like so.
So not that long.
So about 2 years.
We've always gotten along. We're having a laugh.
Right.
Like.
Was in the same class?
No, he was in smart class.
Oh right. That's why he's a good job. You're a forklift driver.
You're just jealous you can't live for him.
Were you in kind of more? Ours were ordered J1. Say you were doing your junior cert or L1 for leaving.
Right.
Down to it was a big school. Down to L8 or whatever. And they were ordered in terms of how well you had done in your exams.
We had that.
And you'd think the least they could have done is made like L8 the smart class or make L4 the smart class. But no, it was like L1 you were a brain box and L8 you were doing.
So in our school it was different. So
L8 you were Joe Down.
No, I was in the rubber classes. No, it was 100% straight. Yeah, we were rubber heads. There was listen. I was going smashing forks into their face. No, it was nuts. notes. It was but it was like that. It was like we were L1, L2, L3 through whatever year you were in. Was the number, and it was so.
We were jealous.
It just disappeared after L3. I don't think anyone lasted.
I was jealous of the people doing foundation level. Because in our school, if you were doing, say, foundation, and sometimes you got an Irish exemption, and I was so jealous at the shit that they got to do that we didn't get to do. So they'd get to do like random salsa class, like random, or just random woodwork, like not even as an exam subject.
All the subjects, salsa.
I swear to God, our home economics, but like not as a subject, just like a bit of lunch in the middle of the day.
Couldn't be any more gay or salsa or home economics.
No, I swear to God, I wanted to do
construction. I wanted to do
and I wanted to do home economics. So then you're like, you'd be going into Irish, and then this teacher, and they were always the fun teachers, were the foundation teachers, the support teachers.
Yeah, they had to have that little bit of a fucking
who's a bit of crack would like pop her head round the corner while we're going into Irish. She'd be like, psst, Anto, do you want to do a bit of dancing? And he'd be like, oh yeah. And I'd be like, I want to do a bit of dancing. And they're like, no, you can go into higher maths. And I'm like, fuck off. So then I kept trying to fail a subject, and I chose
to go back down the foundation.
I chose geography so that I could try and fail it to go to foundation. Yeah.
Would you not just fucking answer them wrong?
No, well, I just started turning up at class late and going, I couldn't even find the class. That's how bad I was at geography. And then I got to go do salsa, which was fucking deadly, you know what I mean? But no, my advice for you as comedians would be just be nice to people. Because it's a person-led kind of job, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%,
so really it's good to just get on with people and don't get into that cliquey thing and be well-behaved. And I mean, don't go down the road of drink and drugs and all that. Because you sound ancient when you say it, but it's fucking true. Like. And then the other thing is to write about what you know and never stop writing. Don't worry about, worry about what makes you laugh.
Yeah.
And don't worry if not everybody finds you funny, because if something makes you laugh, it will make somebody laugh. But you'll find them eventually. Like, I always think comedian is an embarrassing. Do you find this? It's an embarrassing job to tell people you have, because it feels like you're telling them, I am funny. When they go,
I find it harder doing comedy in front of other comedians.
Yeah, I hate it.
I find that them way more judgy. And the thing I've learned over is something, because of what from other comedians that I've watched that are way around, is try not. It's just hard to be jealous of someone. Go, why are they getting that gig? Are they getting that today? Because people get gigs for different reasons, as well as for being funny.
Yeah, but you also just have to enjoy people's
success.
As well as
being funny, it's hard because people get gigs because they're friends with someone or they're something else or whatever. Do you know what I mean? There's different reasons why you get gigs and don't get gigs, but in the long run, I suppose, and this is what's great about, I think, with the online, doing your podcast and followers, you're never gonna fucking have to impress anyone else. Once you impress people who like you,
but
you're
also
get gigs.
Just keep trying to impress yourself.
Yeah, but you'll always get
doing
gigs.
better and changing.
You look at the comedians that didn't come up, like they did come up. Some of them, like Enya Man's a great comedian,
Man's amazing.
Brilliant. But she went straight through content. She was content, and I was like, this is funny. She didn't do any of the clubs. She didn't have to do any of the and that's not saying that she didn't work hard.
Yeah, she
doing the
just went a different path about it.
Doing the videos was hard for her to put it out when she got. So she built it from that.
Yeah.
And everyone else that's out there doing comedy now knows that you can just build up this certain side of it, and you'll be booked once you're liked by an audience.
There's a fairly level playing field, you know. Yeah. But I do just find like you have to be aware that you can't be for everybody.
No, 100%.
I hate saying to people, I am a comedian, because it really sounds like I am funny. And it's not. What you mean is, I am funny to the people who find me funny.
Yeah, of course.
And, unlike a singer. Do you know what I always think? It'd be better to be a singer, like a shite singer in the corner of a pub. Yeah. Everybody can just kind of deal with it.
Yeah.
A shite comedian is everyone's like, I will murder that bastard. Yeah. There's nothing worse than someone who doesn't have your sense of humour grating on you.
Do you know what I hate about the comedian end of it, and people that know is if you're just having banter or just fucking in work or whatever you're doing, and you say something, or just a quip and they go, I wouldn't use that on stage. I fucking hate that. I use that on stage. It's going to be funny. They always try to poke at it, just say, as if you're writing material, and you just
feel like that as well.
You're just talking to people. You're having a banter.
Since I started doing comedy, not as funny in real life.
Really?
I just
You
feel
hold
like
them
people
back?
I just feel like people are evaluating you a lot more.
Right,
Like.
so that's around certain people. You'll find around certain people that want to fucking say, oh, you think you're funny. Yeah. They're the ones you won't be funny around. They'd be the ones that you wouldn't be cracking jokes at in school. You'll know people in school, like when you meet them and go, you're fucking doing stand-up. Oh, you think you're a comedian, what the fuck? So I was never funny around you because I always thought you were a dickhead. Why would I be myself around you when I don't like you? Or, and in my sense, because you would never, as soon as you were a little bit banter, go, oh yeah, and putting you down. When you're around people that you're just comfortable with and you have banter like your best friend or your family, then you're funny. You are who you are. And if you get your audience in front of you and you create your first joke and you're just rolling off and they already like you, then you're funny.
We would have gotten that with you, like. We would have gotten that when we first met you. Like, we would like, oh, here's Joe on the podcast. Whatever, bit nervous and all, you know what I mean? Like, we thought you were funny and all, and then we hit.
Then we got to know you.
Till Al Porter come on and they're like, oh, we love Al.
That is hilarious.
No, but you know,
we thought you were funny at the time, but
now we know you're not.
But it would have been, and it would have been one of them. We would have been like, fuck, how are we gonna be funny here? Do you know what I mean? We thought
when you see someone, like, I was like that with Al Porter. I was seeing Al Porter doing his,
and you want to think you were gas.
He's standing still to the same. I'm watching you, and you're going, you're getting a lesson. You're getting a master class. And it's still with other comedians, John Calerty, we watch, and you just say it as well, you watch people, other comedians,
watching
and just
John
go,
or watching Dylan Moore or watching Tommy Tiernan.
And that'll always be the same. When you see someone do it, or come up with a great joke, you go, why didn't I fucking think of that one?
Yeah, but
that was so simple.
Just to get in here, I think just if you don't treat it like too much of a career, and you kind of just go, it's a bit of fun and enjoy it and remember why you like doing it, you can't go too far wrong. I mean, honestly, take it from somebody who I was in that space where it was like, I'm doing Soho Theatre, Graham Norton is coming to see me, I'm doing the Michael McIntyre show, and the pressure and how much better I enjoy it now. You know, just going, I played the Puccini Still the other night, and I'm going, what the fuck kind of gig is this? I'm in the West Wing of a carvery. I literally, we're in the conservatory bit. Like, you're doing a gig that feels like you're getting up to talk at a communion afters, you know? You can see the car park in the background. And I was just going, but actually, this is better than some of the gigs I did before. I would go so far as to say my gig in the Puccini Still the other night was infinitely funnier, more enjoyable than the time I did the 3 Arena for Comic Relief.
That's unbelievable.
But isn't that fucking mad? And I'm in the Puccini Still. It's a cruel irony. It's a cruel irony to get funnier and more relaxed when you're at your least popular.
Well, you have some audience. You have not some weird you have some audience, because we've gigged with you, and where was the one we did? That was the cafe, and they can mix, and there's an older crowd, and I get nervous. I'm like, fuck, these aren't. So I've learned how to use different material.
Because I get young and old, because I get the people who are in their 30s and 40s who are like, I used to listen to you on the radio, or then I get people in their 20s who are going, no, I seen you in town in the Laugh Lounge in the last 2 years, and then I get 60 and 70-year-olds who I guess liked me from the Late Late, or sometimes I used to do Joe Duffy's Funny Friday. But my attitude is, you chose to come here, I'm not fucking changing it for you. You're only here because you have the free travel, so just fucking
the Blue Rinse Brigade in the fucking, it's hard audience.
Joe Duffy's gone, who are they going to call?
when I was still supporting him, he was literally coming back and he put his name to the poster, boom, out, and it'd be like, right, there's a big gang. They never said I have a fucking scroty fucking. He would never said I have a support act. And I go, okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Dowling. And I walk in and I stand there like this. Who the fuck is this? You know what I mean?
I think they were just looking at him and going, Jesus, those years were hard on him. He never really recovered from the drink and drugs.
I'm Al's supporter. Not Al's supporter. But it was really quite tricky to come out into the audience like that, and then they didn't know, and they just go, right. And then I had to learn a couple of times kicking with you to go, right, relax, I'm only just fucking his driver, as he says.
No, just stop. No, see, we had a great time.
See, doing Al's audience then, and then you do your own audience, and then you have Will at it with a lot. That obviously just helps you get in front of everybody like that.
I'm fucking so grateful for Al, because look, you were who you were, and your audience come back to you like fucking that. And there's obviously people that didn't come back to you, and there was people that was going to be loyal to you. But for the opportunity for me to come back and do your gigs, it opened up a lot of doors. It did open up doors for me, and it gave me an avenue of audience as well.
Was I your first Vicar Street? Was I the first time you ever in Vicar Street? Good.
Yeah, it was amazing, and I got to do that with Al, and I knew him, and it was great to see him because I knew him before. And I knew him after, and I knew see the change. But I don't
think I did enough of that.
Was great. I know you said that. I say to loads of comedians, loads of people, who would be going, and I didn't want to badmouth you. I'll say, no, fuck off. Al's a great guy, and you come back, a great guy, and you were wrong, but you come
Joe
back.
Joe has a good understanding of rehabilitation. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about Joe that makes him really open-minded about people rehabilitating their lives.
I do mushrooms. So I have that connectivity with consciousness.
Mushrooms. He'd be driving you to a gig and he'd be going, I'm microdosing mushrooms. I'm going, like right now? Like right now in the car or on the weekends or when you're talking about?
Microdosing is different. Like, you microdose and go to work. You can drop your kids to school. You can breastfeed.
Like, I mean, listen,
this is between microdosing and microwaving, Joe. You know that,
yeah? You're not that much younger than me. Like, Joe is a little bit older than me at about 50, yeah?
We swear to God, there's going to be violence on this podcast. Oh, you'll be getting dropped, kicked, not dropped. You won't be getting dropped from the podcast. You'll be getting drop kicked.
Sorry, Joe. In his 40s.
47 I was the other day.
Yeah. Right. So Joe's 47.
Happy birthday, me.
Happy birthday, Joe. But I knew you didn't celebrate your birthday anymore.
No, you stop after saying age, don't you?
No, I'm younger. I'm fucking younger now. That I've ever been. Mushrooms are great. That's all I'm going to say.
You know he's a granddad.
Go on.
Can you imagine, like, my boyfriend, his parents are in their 70s and they go in for bring their grandkids, bring your granddad or granny to school day. And it's so traditional because it's a white-haired woman coming in, hi, I'm granny. If they did that in his kid's school, bring your granddad to school day, he comes in, sorry, I'm actually microdosing mushrooms at the moment. I'm after doing a gig with that
Where's your microwave?
My granddad is just back from Turkey.
I'm the best granddad. 100%.
This is my granddad's girlfriend, Sarah. She wears a leopard skin miniskirt.
It's Carol Baskin. Carol Baskin she taken after. I'm the best granddad. I'm young, I'm fit, I'm able to have fun with the grandkids and the old kids. 100%. You know what I mean?
That's
I know. Realising when are you gonna have your kids? You'll be old, you'll be like the bollocks kicking the football.
I don't know if I'll ever have a kid.
Well, if you do ever have you and Mike ever have kids, you'll be fucking too old.
No, we won't.
I agree with
Have
them early. Get your fucking kids.
Yeah.
But have your kids. Get them early. Get them out. Get them doing.
Yeah. You're 16 and you're thinking about having a kid.
No, but listen, it's from where we're from. Like, you know what I mean? I was not mean on his 30th for fuck's sake.
Way to break the cycle of generational poverty there, Joe, by encouraging more people to have babies at 15.
I would
Maybe
say,
just wait until you finish college. I
don't know. I think it's just because you see when people in their 40s are going, whoa! You know, when they raise kids in their 20s.
Would you like to have kids, or have you got kids?
No, I haven't got kids, but I have young parents. I would love to have kids years ago.
Yeah.
Then she left me.
Yes, keep a fucking lie, alright? So are your parents young, did you say?
Yeah, my mum had me at 9. What was my mum? 20 and my dad. My mum, 19 and my dad was 21.
Okay, yeah. So it's the same age as when we had Katie, like, was that age?
That age,
yeah, it's quick. And then and have you got older brothers and sisters? Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest. But I had friends then, and their parents would have been a bit older.
Yeah.
You know, when you're that young, you look at it a bit different. You're like, fuck, thank God my parents are
young. Do
young.
you feel like you're kind of friends with your parents? That you're
definitely
almost
closer.
You're quite
than
close.
the older ones.
100%, 100%.
Which is nice.
And my mum.
Yeah, it's
cool.
And what about your man? He has no other friends other than me, so he's sure
you're a horrible cunt today.
We're fucking slagging everyone here. It's like one thing.
Boo on Jeff out now. I'm on him, man. Now
were your mum and dad young?
No.
Yeah,
never. They were never young.
I think my mum was like 24 or something.
Okay, yes.
That's young. That's young, though, I think.
Well, it is now, isn't it? I mean, when people do it now.
In fucking Crumlin it is. Sorry, dreaming it, is it? Yeah, okay, for a minute.
But it's also different now because you ever look at a 60-year-old now compared to 15 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Like my granddad died at 63, and he was so old at that time. Like, he looked old.
Yeah.
And now, like
63 is nothing now.
63-year-old now, they're in the gym.
Yeah, 63 is not it's not that fucking far away. Get the fuck out of it.
But it's true though, isn't it?
It's true.
It's completely different. So that
gives
pressure's
me
off.
a lot of encouragement to go, Jesus, we could be gigging for a long time, or we could be working for a long time, or you know, I would like to have kids, but only if I had the money. You know what I mean?
That's what.
If I had loads of money.
Fucking
See,
loads
I
of
can't
money.
have an
You don't
accidental
drink or do
pregnancy.
drugs. You must have more money. You must have more money than anyone. Doesn't drink or do drugs. Yeah, how the fuck have you not got money?
Because I'm not fucking.
No, if you did, if you had to look at how
if
you had to look how he dresses, if you had to look how he dresses, you're like, he hasn't got a pot to piss in.
I'm not very materialistic person.
He's like Woody, you know, from fucking.
You wear suits on stage. You still
sometimes, not anymore now, not as much.
Why did you do that? Because we seen you. Where was it, in the Civic?
Civic and the Crack.
And I pointed that out because obviously in England you have like Lee Evans, Michael
they do all that.
like all of them wear suits. So I was like, is there something there? Have you seen that?
I really liked to wear a suit.
Yeah.
I mean, I always think I really like to wear a suit. And then in recent years, I started thinking, am I wearing a suit because I like wearing a suit or because I used to like wearing a suit? And you got to be careful that you're not copying, I think, what you think
they want.
People want. You have to just do what you did in the initial stages, which is do what you want. And then people may or may not like it, but at least you're doing what is from your heart. So I actually started going, do you know what? I don't feel like wearing a suit. I loved it when I was 21.
But you'd still
I
wear
don't
makeup
feel like
though.
wearing out of insecurity
Fucking,
of going, I'm a spotty bastard.
Bob, why are you not doing sunbeds? He's putting the makeup on the car. I was like, you should be fucking.
But I'm insecure.
No, but
on my skin or I'm insecure.
Yeah, well, who isn't these days? You know what I mean?
You know, I can't afford to go to Turkey. I mean, you're slagging me over putting makeup on.
No, it's just funny. Listen,
everyone owns your teeth before you got them yourself.
Everyone is everyone. You do what you want to make yourself feel comfortable. I remember at one stage in Laugh Lounge actually putting on the suit jacket and a short and all. I don't know why it was like, and it just didn't fucking feel right. And I remember fucking someone going, and then another time I went up and I proper wore a big scroty looking jacket, and it went with the material. Do you know what I mean? I think sometimes you give people what they're expecting. If I go to Dorky, do you expect me to talk about fucking, do you know what I mean? Rob Carson horses. They look at you and go, here, as soon as you open them out, they're waiting for you to fucking, do you know what I mean?
I think you have to remember.
Try to be something else, it's not going to work. You just get for what you know and what you are. Do you know what I mean?
What do you think, Joe? I think it's not just comedians or singers. I think everybody, because of social media, it almost looks at their life as a product now. It's like everybody. What Andy Warhol said about 15 minutes of fame is true. Everybody
it's definitely true.
Is like marketing their own life. And I see people putting up on Instagram, we are delighted to announce the arrival of a new baby boy, and I'm going, would you fuck off? You know, it's not a royal, like, it's just another baby around the corner in my ear, and you're announcing it with like a family crest and all this.
Royal.
No,
like,
but I'm just
could
saying.
be trying for a baby for a couple of days or whatever.
No, but
a few hours, you up.
You know, even I found myself.
Let's should have flunked off for a change. You up.
Oh, Jesus. But I found myself doing it, and I am delighted to announce that due to phenomenal demand, I will be returning to Vicar Street. And then I went, why am I writing like that? Why am I talking like that? It's fake. So then I started just being honest and being like, you know, I am relieved to announce.
And that's
due to financial pressure, I'm chancing my arm.
It's the announcement thing, I think, gets people go up. And I think the more perfect you try and make some, especially content, the more perfect you make more perfect is boredom. Just people. I found out anymore that I was going on. And I find this, eventually I found myself just giving out about shops. Tons of shit. They tried to rob me a fucking. Do you know what I mean? JD Sports is fucking right. I found myself.
Good luck getting a sponsor for this podcast.
No, I know, but I felt like then I was like, am I actually just going around giving out about stuff? But I felt like that just for content as well. I was just being myself and going, do you know what? That pissed me off or whatever. And
I think comedy is giving out.
Yeah, it is, and you're giving out, but you're having a funny twist.
A lot of comedy is giving out.
It is.
This exact same chat we were talking about.
I had a gig last night in the Crackdown, and we were talking about kind of how it went.
Yeah, well done. How did you get on?
You won the competition. You did.
Oh, was it? Oh, well done.
They do a competition every Monday. Is it every Monday now?
No, I don't think every Monday.
Well, they have it on Mondays.
Like a raffle or what?
Well done, Jeff. So, were you
He's the only one to buy tickets as well.
No, but it's like we used to do Battle of the Axe.
Yeah,
where
that
you
was
won a little
brilliant.
duck.
Battle of the Bits
That
it was
was-
called.
Battle
Was
of the
it?
Bits.
Yeah.
Everyone had to show the
Okay.
bits.
I won.
No, I had to
Your
say
little
that.
bits.
5 minutes long.
You did a few inches instead of minutes. So were you not on it, Conor? No,
No, I wasn't on. I just went to watch him.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
for
He
support.
had no bits.
Was it a round of applause?
was
that
unreal.
it? Right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so
So
it was
you
good.
both do stand up.
Yeah, yeah.
Forgive me now, because that's the mad thing as well, is that now that everybody does podcasts and does their own thing, we don't all meet each other anymore.
No.
Like 10 years ago, everybody knew everybody.
Yeah.
I was growing up with Chris Kent and that group and
Yeah,
Emma
that's right.
Doran and all that.
Yeah.
And then obviously I was off. But like now, sure, you could go a whole year without meeting,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
somebody that's
right.
in Vicar Street or somebody.
Yeah.
So you both do stand up.
Yeah, both do
And how
stand-up.
long have you both been doing stand up individually?
Just a year. We started.
Only a year ago.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
both started at the same time.
Yeah.
And how did you both start on the same night?
No, so we did it. We both did courses.
You did a comedy course.
Yeah,
Who would have
together.
taught that?
Mine, Aidan McQueen.
Aidan
was
McQueen.
brilliant.
No, sorry, I meant who was the
Brilliant.
teacher.
I had
Aidan,
Aidan.
right.
Stephen Mullen, he had Aidan McQueen.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
So they're both great. And so then you both ended up gigging together and you said, right, let's get together and do a podcast.
Oh, well, we wanted to do a podcast before comedy.
First, okay.
Yeah, we recorded
Deadly.
one like 5 years ago, never released it.
Did you?
Yeah.
In the car.
In the car. We
Oh,
did.
because they do a car one as well, but not just carpool.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a great as
It's like
well.
a bonus
That's a great.
episode. We
It's
did one in
another
the car.
chance for me to get a lift. Happy days. Say
Do it,
no,
do
who
it
has a
again.
car? You drive?
Carpool to a gig.
Yeah,
You're doing yourself out of a gig.
Kind of a fuck. I'm done with
Quick one.
you.
Do you do mushrooms?
Is the mushroom in the car? Go on. Let me in the background.
That's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
But that's great.
Thanks.
So you're doing it. So you're doing it. That's brilliant.
Yeah, we actually, the night of my gig, we do a showcase.
Yeah.
And the night of my gig, it was an early show. I think it was like 6:30, and there was a show after it. And they were like, "Do you want to stick around?" So I had a few family members and friends, like he was right there to watch me. And you were the headliner that night in the Crack then. And we stayed and watched it.
brilliant.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, it was unreal.
They
But
saw
why didn't
you
I
as well.
see
and
you?
They saw you.
Well,
in the city.
I
Remember when you
introduced
did the
myself
city?
to you afterwards and I said,
I didn't see you.
I did.
No, you didn't.
No, but I didn't see
Stand
your
up, no,
act.
no.
Oh,
Our
no,
show was
no.
before the main
Ah,
show.
shit.
You don't
Okay.
watch the act.
I fucking do.
Yeah, I'll
fucking
give, I'll give you a good one about Joe and Raiders.
Oh.
Remember, Joe just had doing a gig with us there. It was about
Yeah.
2 months
The
ago he did
open mic
Raiders.
one, yeah, I went in, did a bit of
We're
material.
mates with Joe now, Uncle Joe. Have a laugh
Yeah,
over here.
Joe, they
But
call
stand
them.
up.
I love them.
We were on Joe's podcast that week as well.
We were on Joe's
Right,
podcast
right,
that week.
yeah.
Had a gig together. So we know him now, but stand up is different. You want to impress him there. I was shit myself. Shit myself, right?
sorry.
Literally
Yeah.
studying and all for a week for it. And he 7 minutes set, like, right? Flat to the mat. He was there and early and all, chatting to him. Here we go. Here we
Helping
go.
him upload his first podcast and all.
Yeah,
and
we did not do a laptop.
Yeah. And he kept saying to me, "It's grand, like, he knows you're funny, it's grand, like, do you know what I mean?" He was like, "We're gonna smash it." I goes, right. Shit myself going up, right? Do you know, before someone goes up, you're reading your stuff real quick, like, then my name gets up, I go up and all, I'm looking down, I'm getting big laughs, it was good
Yeah.
to say, where the fuck is Joe, like, I couldn't say a thing, right?
Sorry.
And the laughs were
Oh,
going.
no.
And you know, and every time I got a laugh, I was like, "Oh, that's a second to look, where is he, like, do you know what I mean?"
Great, you did well.
What was,
Everyone
he
was
doing?
saying.
What was he doing? I was walking off then after me set. He was outside eating Leo buttocks.
Here's a good sponsor.
Crispy bits.
He was outside
Something you like.
eating Leo buttocks.
That's funny.
Sorry, and I get you were like, where were you?
Yeah, yeah.
He was this,
Yeah.
and I was like, what? He goes, you did really well, and you didn't see it, and I felt really bad. But I was more annoyed about me asking if cunt from Wexford where the chipper is. And he said, you wouldn't get a good chipper around here. He said, and I was fucking Leo Bordox is beside us. I was like, this could pick strawberries. He didn't know where
There's
the
nothing
fuck
worse
is.
than when you want to impress somebody.
Oh,
And
yeah.
but then also, it can happen the opposite way around where you didn't want somebody to be in the audience and you go,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
fuck. I
Yeah,
did a
that's
gig
a-
out in Dalkey last year, and like sometimes you have a great gig and sometimes you just have a gig that's,
Yeah.
you know, you go, not my best. I don't know what happened there, you know.
Yeah.
I kind of did this gig and I went, oh, fuck, that was a bit ropey. You know, I was trying new material. And then I got off stage and Neil Jordan, the film director, was
Oh,
in the
fuck.
audience.
Oh, wow.
Oscar-winning film director
He's
Neil
done all the
Jordan.
big
And I was
Dorish,
like,
yeah.
oh, Neil Jordan
What's he
did
done?
ones like
He's not there.
In the Name of the Father.
yeah,
and
the big ones.
he had
It's not
some-
just like not the little ones. I do know he does. He plays basketball.
No, but Neil Jordan has written
Plays
novels.
basketball.
He's done films with Colin Farrell. He's done films with
Crazy.
Daniel Day-Lewis, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And after the gig, I was like, hiya. And he was going, you were on tonight. And I was like, yeah. And then there was a bit of an awkward silence. He went, Nice. Couldn't even muster a fucking compliment. Just good night now. Thanks for that. Thank you. And but he was good. And then I remember embarrassing myself years ago. You gathered these random people you meet, just from being around. I remember when I did Michael McIntyre's show, and you're in the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane. That's crazy. Now, one time I had already met Michael McIntyre because I was supporting him out in one of his smaller gigs. So he goes to me, do you mind if I do a few minutes, just say hello to the audience before I bring you out? And I'm going, yeah, of course, your show.
Warm them up,
and he goes out, he's destroying the gig. He's just a master. He's just been doing it. But he's been doing it since the 90s, you know? And Michael McIntyre is just a really, really fabulously polished, naturally talented, great comedian. And I go on anyway, and it's just, I was so much younger. Like now I would have plenty of sort of what you might call clean material. I've got stuff about being the youngest in my family when your parents are at their oldest, or my brother being the golden child, or will me and my boyfriend have a baby or not, or all this stuff. Like I think as you naturally get older, my material is reflecting my life. So it's a bit of a cleaner life. But at the time I was a 22-year-old mad bastard doing drinks and God knows what, riding rings around me, you know. So McIntyre is out there going, it's funny when you do, is it the right tab or is it the left tab? Is it the right, you know? And then he's kind of going, sometimes I go, I don't know if I like these shoes are better than these shoes, and then, you know, or whatever. He's going, do I put my hands under here, maybe I put my hands under here. And then I go out and he's like, I'd like you to introduce a young man from Ireland, Al Porter, you know. And I walk out and I go, isn't it mad when you're sucking a cock around the back of it? You know, I go, oh God. And the audience were just horrified. And you know, I just didn't have, I suppose the point I'm making was I didn't have anything else in the bag. I had my story about riding a girl for the first time. I had my stories about being a young gay mad thing. I had a story about being in a posh restaurant. That was the closest thing I got to a laugh that night. And back then I wouldn't have been able to turn the car around, so to speak, to kind of go, oh, this isn't working, let's change tack. But now I would walk out and go, oh, listen, if this isn't landing, I'll do something else.
Isn't that one good, great bit of advice to have, is know your audience and have different material. And I know you have to be probably doing it for a while.
Well, I should have thought beforehand, this is going to be in a quite well-to-do borough of London.
No one said it to you. No one said.
I'm sure they did, Joe. I can't use that excuse. No one said it.
No,
but I'm sure they did. I wasn't listening.
That was great material. You were doing great material, and that's how you got booked to do. You can't say you got booked to do
material. Was good. I mean, you do that material at 10 p.m. in Soho Theatre.
Smashing it.
Oh my God, he's the next best thing. Like, you know, and you're getting 4-star, 5-star reviews. But that's 10 p.m. in Soho.
Being full on.
You know, right next. The gay sauna is next door. You're in the Soho Theatre. Although I remember doing Soho. I remember doing Soho Theatre, and Graham Norton was in the audience. And at the time, I did this material about having a boyfriend, which is true. I used to go out with this guy who was in a wheelchair, you know, and only for like about 6 months. And I remember joking, going,
in the wheelchair before.
Jesus.
You gotta open with that. That's going in the clip. You probably did he do a joke? Is that a joke? No. Did he? You see,
exactly
that's what's wrong with these young comedians. They're pricks.
No, but that's exactly the thing.
So I usually not said anything through the whole podcast.
But I used to joke about that's brilliant. I used to joke about all that. Oh, was he in it before? All that, and then I even did these jokes where I said, "Oh, I don't even think. Now I wouldn't do this now." But I went, I was 21. But I went, I don't even think he's gay. I said, I just think he can't feel anything from the waist down. He likes the company.
Oh, lads.
And so I go, he's just watching Netflix and he's going, do what you have to do, you know. All this, which is awful. So anyway, this woman gets up and says, listen, Graham Norton's in the audience, but this woman gets up and says, and this had never happened to me before since.
I remember you telling me this.
I can't listen to this.
In the audience.
You know, I can't listen to this. You know, I know so many people in wheelchairs and to think that you're making fun of it. And I'm going, Clearly, I know people in wheelchairs to the point that I'm literally in a relationship with one. And
That's not what you were going to say.
anyway, so she was gone, right? She was gone, and I said, and I don't fight people when they're leaving. I don't go, you wanker. I just went, listen, love, I'm sorry it wasn't for you, and get your money back at the door. And then we continue on with the gig. Then I'm doing, what a stupid show this was. This is not last year's show. We're talking about my show in 2016 or whatever. I then move on to these jokes about this Muslim fella that I had been going out with. And again, it's a true story where I was going out with this fella called Mahmoud for about 6 months, good looking fella. And I was going, they're not even supposed to like pork, you know? And just like a little joke.
He's going to get me cancelled.
No, but it's just a little joke. And I was going, we only ride when he has to pray because he's already down there. We changed position because you have to face Mecca. All this, 5 times a day, and all this kind of like silly stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, this woman got up. This is true, and goes, I can't listen to this. I'm. My friend is. It was like contagious among the audience. Like, she left.
Second person.
This is at the same
one.
gig.
And Graham Norton's there.
So she left. In my head, I'm shitting. I go, oh my God. And I went, lads, I've never had this. 2 people walking out of a gig. Are you all still enjoying it? And in fairness, Graham Norton shouts out, I'm still here.
Brilliant.
And there was a big round of applause. And I went, oh, thank fuck. So anyway, and then I went, this next story is about this Muslim in a wheelchair. Just to try and get them back into it. But like, there was all this, but I think at the time I wanted to be kind of a bit shocking or a little bit risky. Whereas now I actually enjoy less.
You lean into stories. You lean into observations of story, what's going on. I noticed that about it.
I noticed that about it. And I just think that's
need to be that.
I just think it's a maturity thing.
And if you can have like that dirty mind as well, but you're leaning into different materials.
We started the podcast. We were saying mad shit. Like, that has to be funny or whatever. And then we're like, we never even talk like
but
that.
It's
the best compliment I can get, sorry Joe, is if somebody comes up to me now and says, like say if you do a fundraiser or if you do at the Galway Comedy Festival, I was on gigs with John Kenny. It was one of John Kenny's last gigs from the Dunbelievables. He was dead 2 weeks later, and you do a gig like that where people they know you're on the bill, but they're kind of there to see John Kenny or Dylan Moran. And then I love if they come up after and go, I didn't think I was going to like you.
Oh, really?
But I actually liked it. That's a great compliment because you kind of think, oh, maybe it's not over. Like maybe there's still people who haven't seen me.
I've heard someone did that before that I get on the gigs and you were only coming back.
Yeah.
And there was someone said, I went with my friend. I was like, I don't know, because the friend wanted to go. Do you know what? Yeah, actually, or someone's never been to a comedy club, comedy gig before, and go, oh, that one. But he went, and I remember someone coming up and going to you, but you had to make me fucking like comedy, stand-up comedy. I'm gonna go to more shows and stuff like that. I think that's a nice thing to get back, isn't it?
And then you get some people who are like mad.
But even sorry, and I'm gonna because when we're running out, I'm coming up to bit, and I did say there was a bit that I like to do, and I said it to Al that it's the bit as yours. He's not using now but at this stage, and I don't know if you have that and ready.
I feel like I haven't gotten to know you well enough. I've talked too much. I want to go on your podcast, maybe.
That'd be great. Has to happen.
You have to do fucking talking bollocks by wish.com or whatever.
Listen out for me.
That's brilliant. No, you're definitely 100%. It's gonna happen.
I have to tell this before you go into your thing.
Come on.
I'm just thinking about doing the pudgy and seal and having a bit of humility about yourself. The 7 years ago, one woman in the audience, I said, look at me playing the pudgy and still, and this woman goes, I've seen you before, you're great. And I said, where did you see me? She goes, I've seen you at the IFTAs 7 years ago.
IFTAs.
The IFTA is, it's like the Irish BAFTA, Irish Film and Television Academy. And I won an IFTA for the IFTA Rising Star Award. Big fucking statue, right? And the runner-up on the night. So when they gave it to me, they said the next 5 years of your life are going to be game-changing. I go, that was prophetic. I didn't know it was a fucking threat. But anyway, and then the runner-up on the night was Paul Mescal.
Wow.
So it just goes to show.
Yeah. Is that for the ad with the sausages?
What?
We're going Ballyhon.
I say Paul Mescal is raging. He's not sitting in a studio with Joe Dowling. And two fuckers from Clondalk.
Maybe he will be. They're from Crumlin, you don't.
Thanks, Uncle Joe. You tell him.
Let's get ready to Crumlin.
Trimming it. So it is a bit now, and it's great to see. And I said, I'd love to have you on. And I know the boys are going to get you on to their podcast, whatever the fuck it's called. I heard shy. But I have a bit to where I do, because I know when I said it to the lads before. Because we get approached, you're a comedian, and can tell us a joke. And I'd always want to just tell them a pub joke, something that's just fucking quick, because I don't want to go into stories. So I told you this earlier. I said, if you get something, have something. I know your dad's full of them. Your dad has some great jokes. Have you got a joke for us? Do you want to?
So what, like a pub joke?
A pub joke. What you hear on the street of someone, anywhere, you're seeing it, anything, just a joke.
I have a few.
If someone come up and say, tell us a joke, right? And if you don't want to go into your material, tell them a fucking joke that you've heard.
Let me think about it for a second. I have a few. Cause my dad comes out with the one-liner. My dad does the
That's great.
Oh, I don't use the Viagra anymore. I use the new pill called Cox-a-flopping. Do you know all this kind of? There's a new pill for lesbians. It's called Troy Cox again.
That's
all these. And then I'm friends with. I'll get to a good one. Let me think. But I'm friends with like some of the older comedians. So and by older I don't mean Darren. I don't mean Joe. But I also don't mean. You see, right? So you've got like your generation.
Yeah.
Then you got my generation, which I think is me, Chris Kent, Emma Doran. You know, I'm not saying I'm doing as well as them, but I just mean we were from the same time-ish. Fred Cook, you know. Then you got people just slightly before that who are really, really amazing people like Carl Spain and all that. And then even before, exactly. And then even before that, you've got now the OG Irish ones: Tommy Tiernan, Deirdre O'Kane, Joe Rooney, Pat McDonald, Barry Murphy. And they were the kind of beginning of alternative comedy in Ireland. But before them was Brendan Grace, Hal Roach, Novi Ginty, Sil Fox, and a guy called Mr. Pussy. And I'm friends with all these. Mr. Pussy is an 85-year-old drag queen, right?
Really?
Yeah. And he rings me all the time, still going. Like, still going. Very funny guy. And he has these great jokes where he was Ireland's first drag queen. And he was on the Late Late Show when it was in black and white. And he's an amazing person. He had a bar with Bono. He had a bar with Bono called
big grey dress.
It's in black and white. And he had a bar with Bono called Mr. Pussy's Cafe Deluxe. Hung out with Naomi Campbell, Mick Jagger.
It's mad that I didn't only heard of him through the business. You have never heard of Sil Fox and
I've
Mr.
never even seen a big pussy.
These guys.
He had an affair with the Beatles manager Brian Epstein.
No way. Is this exclusive?
No, I don't know. But,
can we?
Well, Brian's dead a long time.
Apparently, allegedly,
David Bowie.
Apprehendively.
Really?
When David Bowie wasn't even called David Bowie and he was called Davy Jones, which obviously is also the name of one of the monkeys. But David Bowie hadn't changed his name yet. Mr. Pussy was higher up on the bill than David Bowie at a gig in London.
Fucking hell.
Like an amazing guy. And he gives me these great lines and he goes, you know, gay man walks into the chemist, you know, and he talks like that. You know, he's 85 and he's from London. And he says, gay man walks into the chemist. He says, excuse me, have you got Vaseline? And they say, would you try Boots? He said, I want him to slip in, not fucking march in. Which is a great line. And he has another one. Have you got token pad? They said, walk this way. He said, if I could walk that way, I wouldn't need the fucking token pad. He has all these really good ones. And he's great. And he's like, there's a lovely stripper, and she would always put a poppy up her asshole. And she'd walk out to the audience and take off her clothes and turn around and show people the big red poppy up her asshole. And people would say, why have you got a poppy up your asshole? She goes, in memory of those who died at the front. Really old-fashioned fun gag. But actually, I'll tell you my favourite. My favourite pub joke. My favourite pub joke is probably. My dad said to me when I was 21, because he always thought, you know, have you got? Here's a joke for you. I think he didn't realise I'm on stage. Modern comedy is talking about your life. It's not necessarily doing.
Gags.
You know, gags. But he always had a gag for me. And this one time he said, you go up to the top of a taxi rank, and he goes, and you knock on the first window.
I told him this last week.
You told him this joke?
Last week.
It's a fucking great joke.
Sorry, I'm just going
Did you tell them that's the one my dad does.
Well,
I've
my
been
father-in-law
doing that for
told me
years.
that.
It's a
And my
great
father-in-law
joke.
told me that, and I told him all the way down to Drimnagh.
Oh, Joe.
Will you tell me you were going to tell them
What?
what you're
What?
Will you tell them one?
You said, what's your favourite pub joke?
Yeah, well,
that
that's
is
a
my
great
favourite
joke.
pub joke.
Yeah,
And as
yeah.
the other two drive
Do you
off, they're
remember
looking
that?
at him.
That's
Fucking
hilarious.
great joke.
Great joke.
It's a brilliant joke.
And whenever I need to do a pub joke,
Yeah, that's the one
I
you
go
lean
to
into.
that.
Yeah,
I go.
yeah.
I mean, who's known for being tight in Ireland is kind of the Cavan people, isn't it?
Right, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
Cavan. That's
Yeah.
an old school thing. It's
Would you
Cavan
know that?
people are
Yeah,
tight.
we would know
Yes.
that. Yeah, yeah.
And there's a good old joke about two lads from Cavan talking to each other. I won't try and do the accent.
Yeah.
And one of them
Do the
goes,
accent, do the accent.
no, and
Come
one of
on.
them goes, no, I can't
Right,
do
okay,
Cavan.
right.
I can't. And one of them goes, if you won the lottery, would you share? And he goes, of course I would. Like, if I won the lottery, I'd give you half. And he goes, really? He said, yeah, we're friends. And then he says, and if you had two houses, he goes, if I had two houses, I'd give you one of them. And then he goes, yeah, and if you had two cars, and he goes, if I had two cars, I'd give you one of them, you're my mate. And then they say, and if you had two chickens, he says, fuck off, Mick, you know I have two chickens.
That's a great fucking.
That's a good old
great
joke.
That's a cracker.
That's a good joke. I know I said it leaning into your boys there, and you just haven't got one ready in the barrel, have you? No, all right. There's
We
no
actually
panic.
thought one during the
And
weekend.
We've
did
done
you?
two. We've done two.
Right, okay. So
And I
you
think they've been
haven't-
good, haven't they? Actually, haven't been good.
Yeah.
Is what's your favourite so far?
Of your
Pressure,
one.
pressure now on this. Yeah.
Of-
Now,
of-
of all, I guess, it's pub joke.
Of all my guess, what's the
Yeah.
favourite pub jokes?
Yeah.
It's got to be the one with the. It's got to be the one with the fucking the lion or the jaguar.
Jaguar,
The
yeah,
jaguar is a
yeah.
great one.
That was a
Do
good
that.
one.
That was a great.
What's
Do you want
that?
it? But it's only last week. Tell Al.
Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Tell Al
Oh,
the
that's
jaguar.
pressure now, like, that's
Well,
pressure
no,
now.
it's only
No, I
a
wanna
legend. Tell
hear
him.
it.
And then we'll wrap
Right.
up in a minute. I want to give a quick one as well, and then we'll wrap up, right?
Right, so I'll
Have
go
you
through
got
a quick,
one?
right?
They want for that. Go on.
Basically, there was an Irish guy, right? He fell in love with a girl from England in London, moved over her, fell in love with her, married her. After a few years, then he started hating her. He wasn't happy at all, right? So he went to his local bar because there was an Irish barman there. And I'm telling this different to last
No,
week
go
because I'm
on,
trying to get
just
through it.
roll it.
And
Brilliant.
he was like, How are you? The Irish loving it. The Irish over there. He said, I'm good, but stuff isn't, I'm not happy at home. He's like, really? He says, yeah, I'm hating my wife. I want that gone. And he goes, right, I used to be a mechanic. I tell you what, I know the trade and I know what to do here. So get her a Mini, right? They fold like paper. Get her a Mini. Girls can't drive. I didn't say that now. The barman said that. But, and she's getting into accident and that be it, right? He leaves. 6 months later, comes back even sadder. He goes, what's wrong? And he goes, got her a Mini. She's got in a crash. But she's fucking perfect. Not a scratch on her. Yeah. And he goes, oh my God. Tell you what, this is the last. You won't beat this. Get her a Jaguar. He goes, I'm telling you, people, expensive, yeah, but it will do the job, right? 6 months later, he comes back skipping in. He goes, did it happen? He goes, she's gone. He goes, tell me what happened. He goes, I brought her home, opened the cage, and ate her alive.
Oh no! You have to. You have to. You have to.
This is
That was brilliant.
We'll pay this as well. We'll pay for this.
Over to him. Go on.
Yeah, I have to hear this. This is Sil Fox used to do this one, and Novi Ginty used to do great ones. Like Novi Ginty was from Kells,
Right,
same
yeah,
place
yeah,
as Fred
Fab,
Cook and
yeah.
Tommy.
Those are close.
And,
And the book.
and Novi
Yeah, Kells
is,
book,
Novi
yeah.
is in his 80s, and Noel used to do one where he goes, Mr. Murphy was in Taiwan. He talked like that, Mr. He said, Mr. Murphy was in Taiwan, and he got to wondering, his flip-flops, where were they made?
Yeah.
So he turned them over and it said, around the corner, boss. You know, like all this kind of stuff. He had good ones. But I love this, that Sil Fox would often tell this one. It's a great joke.
Yeah.
So there's a woman, let's call her Mrs. Murphy, and she's sick of the husband, and she's going, I have to get rid of him. I'm not living out my last few days with this. Exactly. So she poisons him. And it works. And he's dead. And there he is lying dead on the kitchen table, and then she's pouring herself a drink, and she's going, I'm going to have to chop him up, and she chops him up into little pieces, and she puts them in the bin bags, and she has a bit of them in this bin bag and a bit of them in that bin bag, and puts out the bins, and then closes the door and takes another drink to settle her nerves, and then she's looking out the window to see if the bin man is going to come, and then the bin man comes, and she closes the door and thinks, thank fuck, he's come to take the bins now, I've gotten away with it. And she's going, oh my God, knock at the door. And she goes to the door, nervous as fuck, And he goes, Mrs. Murphy. And she goes, yeah. She goes, I might need another bin bag. The arse is after falling out of this one.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I think that one related to Fred West.
Yeah.
That was a Fred West one.
That's a terrible delivery from me there now.
Someone told me it last week. It was actually my best mate's outfit. He always grabs you in the bills and come here and I'll tell you. And he'd have a couple of little fast ones. And he told me this one. He was like saying about this outfit. He's had him playing proper deaf. And he went to fucking for this hearing aid. And he comes into the pub and he's like, that fucking hearing aid, best hearing aid you can get. This thing is the best on the market. It's fucking $2,000 I paid for this hearing aid. You can't get a better hearing aid than this. And your man goes, what kind is it? He goes, 2:15.
That's good.
Good one, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to wrap it up there. Give it up for Carl over here in the corner. Al Porter, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you very much. And then of course we have you having a song.
It'd be great to meet us again, lads.
Thank you very much.
That'd be deadly.
Let's
and
get a
thanks, Joe, for
You're very
having
welcome.
me. And people come to me tour.
Yeah,
I'm back touring. I'm back gigging.
I'm doing my gig in the Civic on July 19. Fuck Al Porter.
And I'm dropping his gig. Tell them where it is, Al.
Joe Wordish is going to be on Rapunzel. It's about me going to Tokyo and coming back with this. It's in the Civic Theatre, July 19th. Get your tickets. It's gone in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much. Give it up for the voice again.
Al Porter.ie.
Al Porter's a shite bag.